4.07 trillion naira between January and August 2022, according to that document. However, the federal government accumulated 5.33 trillion naira in debt during the review period, which is 1.15 trillion naira more than the planned 4.07 trillion naira. According to a further breakdown, the federal government borrowed 4.82 trillion naira from domestic creditors and 510.2 billion naira from foreign creditors. The World Bank has revealed that the falling value of most developing currencies is exacerbating the food and energy crisis being experienced. According to the latest edition of the multilateral institution's commodity markets outlook, food price inflation in South Asia averaged more than 20% in the first 3 quarters of 2022, while food price inflation in other regions, including Latin America and the Caribbean, the Middle East and North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa and Eastern Europe, as well as Central Asia, average between 12 and 15%. According to the World Bank, the falling values of most developing economies' currencies also driving up food and fuel prices, potentially worsening the food and energy crisis that many are experiencing. While the World Bank predicts that agricultural prices will fall by 5% next year, with wheat prices falling nearly 20% in the third quarter of 2022, but remaining 24% higher than a year ago. Adex Food and Beverages Limited has introduced to the Nigerian market the Dublin City Spirit as an Irish spirit with global standard. The chairman of Adex Food and Beverages Limited, Chidi Ambanefo, at the experience the Dublin City Spirits in Lagos, said the spirits in the form of the London Dry Gin distilling style.
Of course, the product has been around for the past 6 months, but generally one of the people know what we have, because Dublin City Gin and whiskey is a premium product. It's a single malt product. It's next to none, because most times you find out that what we have on our shelves is just whiskeys, distilleries, all kinds of whiskey. But it's a single malt, smooth, good, and then good for your organs. So that is why we're introducing Dublin City Whiskey and Gin. And if you look at the whiskey world these days, Irish is taking over because they have the best whiskies in the world. And if you look at the competitors that we have around us, you find out that most of the whiskies are not single malts. We are coming in to introduce single malt, which is the best whiskey you can always have. Smooth, good for the body, and then I think it is convincing.
For the managing director, Adex Food and Beverages Limited, Dublin City Spirit also has Dublin City Whiskey, a premium Irish whiskey that captures the character of Dublin City past and present.
Inside the whiskey, we have 4 brands, which is made of our signature blend. We have the single malt, which is premium. Then we have the premium single grain. Then we have the Irish blend. So these whiskeys come out in different tastes and blended. So what it is that, it's a kind of whiskey which, was manufactured in Ireland. Everybody knows that Ireland has the best whiskeys in the world. So, when you have it that is Dublin, and it answers the name Dublin City Whiskey, that tells you really where it comes from. And by us saying that the logo we say is a whiskey with an accent, it means an accent is a name that comes to stay. Everybody knows that Ireland has the best whiskey.
The Chief Commercial and Sales Director, Diego Menendez, speaks on the opportunities in the Nigerian market and the future of the Dublin City Spirit as the company is focused on development, enhanced branding, and improving sales.
So Dublin City Gin is the most awarded gin with 16 gold medals. It's doing really well. It's been in the market for so long. And then we moved, while the time when everything started, we put whiskey down in order just to create our own whiskey, because Irish whiskey is growing and it will be the biggest whiskey worldwide by 2030. Not us, but just generally Irish whiskey. To be honest, I knew about the size of the market, and it's a lot of market share to take on, but it's just beyond my wildest comprehension on how everything is growing. So my goal is at the moment focusing in this place more than anything. It's incredible.
Dublin City Gin, one of the brand products of Dublin City Spirits, is a multiple gold medal winner with over 35 accolades to his name, including Best in Ireland, Best European Craft Gin, Global Masters, and World Best Irish London Dry. Banks' credit to the Nigerian economy increased by 34% year-on-year to 63.3 trillion naira in the third quarter of 2022, up from 46.9 trillion naira in the same period of 2021. According to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria Money and Credit Statistics, total credit consists of 22.8 trillion naira in government borrowing and 40.5 trillion naira in private sector borrowing. Further details show that growth in government borrowings outpaced growth in private sector borrowing, with the former increasing by 75%, while the latter increased by 19% year-on-year, indicating that government borrowing is crowding out private sector borrowing. According to the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the NMDPRA, the estimated performance of domestic gas supply obligations increased by 14% as of September this year, rising from 50.6% in 2020 to 64.8% in 2021. The authority's chief executive, Engineer Farouk Ahmed, made the disclosure in Abuja at the 2023 Domestic Gas Demand Requirements Workshop, revealing a marginal increase in 2022 gas demand requirement of 5.9% to 250 million standard cubic feet per day over the determined 2021 national gas requirement of 4.232 billion standard cubic feet per day. The number of Nigerians who have not yet used 3G, 4G, or consequently 5G networks is not less than 134 million, or 60% of the country's total population. Only in Lagos State have a small number of people been able to use 5G internet despite MTN's launch of the technology. The Nigerian Communications Commission has revealed that only 83.3 million subscribers currently use 3G and 4G among the ICT users, who contributed 18.44% of the total real GDP in Q2 of 2022. According to the data, only 38.2% of Nigeria's 217.9 million population is connected to next generation broadband networks. Rail transport revenue increased by 42% year-on-year to 2.93 trillion naira in the first 6 months of this year, from 2.07 trillion naira in the same period in 2021. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, rail transportation data for the second quarter of this year showed that 2.93 trillion naira revenue generated in the review period includes 2.76 million naira from goods and 107.64 million from other income receipts. However, data showed that revenue from passengers fell 44.7% year-on-year to 598.73 million in Q2 of 2022 from 1.08 trillion in Q2 2021. This was due to 25.3% drop in rail transport passengers to 422,393 in the second quarter of this year, from 565,385 in the second quarter of 2021. The U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday called on oil and gas companies to use their record profits to lower costs for Americans and increase production or pay higher tax rates. In remarks at the White House, Biden criticized major oil companies who are bringing in big profits, while Americans wary of inflation pay a tidy sum to fill up their cars.
I think it's outrageous what the size of the profit. Here's what matters. If these companies are making average profits they've been making by refining oil over the last 20 years, instead of the outrageous profits they're making today, and if they passed the rest on to the consumers, the price of gas would come down around an additional 50 cents. My team will work with Congress to look at these options that are available to us and others. It's time for these companies to stop war profiteering, meet their responsibilities in this country, and give the American people a break and still do very well. The American people are going to judge who's standing with them and who is only looking out for their own bottom line.
The business news at this time. Let's quickly take a break, and when we return from the break, I will be filling you in with the market update from the Nigerian Stock Exchange that closed in the bearish territory on Monday. Okay, why am I feeling like today is Monday? Okay, because we weren't on live yesterday because of the live broadcast. Anyway, and it's just a few days to take a break, and when we return from the break, I will be filling you in with
Here is a new and refreshing offer for our esteemed audience across the globe. The new AIT TV is an online streaming service that offers you attractive opportunities to view our rich, exciting, and entertaining programs anytime, anywhere. AIT Cloud TV is available on the web on www.ait.app, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Android TV. You can also download the mobile app at the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Simply connect to the internet, download the app, register, and watch live or catch up on unlimited hours of exciting shows. AIT TV, TV on the go.
Hello, and welcome to the program. This is Moneyline with me, Nancy.
So we really have to keep thinking out of the box about how to get money to the least accessible in our society.
Everything has to be re-examined in our economy, in our health system.
We are also ensuring that government does not continue to manage this refinery, because government is not really equipped to manage refinery. We need to come forward and do something different, so that we move from a situation of from purely a consumptive approach to a productive environment.
The government and the people need to really agree on the need for a departure from business as usual.
We are now on the process of recovery. It is what I call a bumpy journey to an uncertain destination.
This is Moneyline with me, Nancy Naji. It's so nice to know that you're joining us again today. Welcome back to the program. Let me quickly take you through the market rounds. The Nigerian Stock Exchange closed bearish. It was down 17 basis points on Monday, and as a result, we've seen that the YTD, which is the year-to-date return, fell to 2.63%. As at Monday, we saw that international breweries, livestock feeds, as well as Japan were the market drivers for yesterday's performance. While the total volume traded increased by about 31% to about 161 million, as you can see right there on the screen. Total value traded decreased by 21% to close at 3.46 billion naira. The most traded stocks by volume on Monday were Transcore, Access Core, and Sterling Bank, MTN Nigeria, Seplat, and South Africa. They were the most traded stocks in terms of value. Now, what are we seeing in the markets lately? Earnings continue to trickle in. We've seen earnings from MTN, and MTN says that their revenue grew by about 21.9% year-on-year to around the 506.05 billion in the Q3 of 2022, faster than the 80% year-on-year growth delivered in Q2 of 2022. For MTN, it says that data remains, or even what we saw from the results, data remains a growth engine amid voice recovery. The EBITDA, for those that study accounting or do accounting or related courses, EBITDA means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. We saw that growing by about 24.8% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2022, by 23% year-on-year in the 9 months of 2022. The growth was driven by several cost efficiency initiatives by MTN, which resulted in a slower growth rate of expenses. If we move over to Dangote Cement, we also saw Q3 2022 earnings coming in, but it remained under pressure from rising energy costs, FX losses. Boa Cement also released its 9 months unaudited results after trading hours last week, and the company reported earnings per share decline of 43.3% year-on-year in third quarter of 2022. However, we saw that the 9 months 2022 EPS grew by 12.3%. And now let's move over to other markets that we also track for. The money market interest rate fell. To be more specific, the OBB rate and the overnight rate both fell by about 167 basis points and 133 basis points respectively. And analysts believe that the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, which is the FAC payment, are the primary reason for the rate cut, as they have significantly improved liquidity conditions. In the fixed income markets, it was highly volatile on Monday. The average benchmark NCB yields and OMO bill yields were relatively flat. We saw that, with a 1 basis points contraction, closing at 10.98% and 10.88% respectively. Now let's move over to the currencies market. It's a euro market right now, especially in the parallel market. In fact, on Thursday, so I tried to call some of the BDC operators to ask how much I was tracking since the CBN announced the redesign, tracking how much the Naira trades for the BDC segment. In fact, within announced the redesign, tracking how much the Naira, 5 different trades. In fact, I called the BDC guy. I was like, okay, how much do you exchange for the dollar? They told me, okay, 765. In fact, I called the BDC guy. I was like, okay, how much do you exchange for the dollar? 768. Another one, 770. Another one, 773. No, add one Naira, 774. I was like, what exactly is happening? As yesterday, I called some of the BDC operators, and they told me, in fact, I got 2 rates yesterday, 810, 813, then 815, about 3 rates. What exactly is happening? The madness going on there. Some of the BDC operators told me that a lot of people that are stacking their billions right now, Nigerians that have stacked billions in wherever they are stacking it, are looking for the dollar to be able to change their monies into dollar to hedge against this currency design. So some people are bringing it out. This was what I was told yesterday by some of the BDC operators. But at the I&E window, we saw that the Naira fell by 40 basis points to 443 Naira to $1, while according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, gross external reserves fell to $37.4 billion as at October 28, 2022. Now let's move over to other markets. I'll start with the United States, where stock futures are a bit higher this Tuesday morning as traders leave behind a winning month and look ahead to the Federal Reserve interest rate decision that will take place tomorrow. While the European markets also moved higher, as global markets really are focusing on the Fed right now. We expect to get more details tomorrow. Stocks in Hong Kong led gains in the Asia Pacific session after concluding the month of October with more than 14% loss. Talking about NGX on Nigerian exchange. It's really not been a pretty month. It was not a pretty month in November. I hope to give you details on that this week, talking about the market performance for the month. All prices seem to be rising this morning, pairing losses from the previous session. We've seen that Brent crude is trading around 93. Okay, this was at 9:33 a.m. West African time. What I can see right now on my board here, Brent crude is doing about $93.54. Okay, what else can we see? Gold. Let me see what gold is doing. Okay, gold is trading at $1,600 there, just about above $1,600. Gold prices are a bit are flat with what I'm seeing right now after touching its lowest levels in more than 1 week. All right, that's it for the markets. Let's quickly take a break, and when we return, I'll be taking people through the state of the Nigerian economy. I'll be asking the pertinent questions. My guests will be joining me, and I hope you listen and be attentive, and get some clues on how perhaps you just need to guide yourself till the end of this year. A lot of people are praying, let this year just end, or let us just crawl till the end of the elections and let's have a new administration. And many Nigerians are saying so, because many Nigerians are really groaning in pain. Whether you're a big man or poor man, they affect everybody. Because even if you're a big man, you will see a lot of people now trying to ask you for money. Please borrow me money. Please pay my children's school fees. Please, I don't have money to eat, and all of that. So we'll be right back with my guest to talk about the state of the Nigerian economy. Do stay with us. All right, welcome back to the program. My guest is joining me right now, Eben Jewels. He is the lead partner at Transact RSM International. We're looking at the state of the Nigerian economy. Hello and welcome to you, Mr. Jewels.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah, welcome. I know we have a lot to cover, so let's just start. I think I will start by getting your view on this currency redesign, since it's what is topical right now. Short and sharp, what's your view?
I think it is doing the right thing that is normal in any developing economy. Every country, because of security reasons, from time to time redesign their currency without too much noise. But there are few countries that impose a very short window to withdraw all currencies in circulation. They do the redesign and withdraw their old currencies. Every country, because of security reasons, knowing that from time to time, take for example, they do the redesign and withdraw their old currencies, completely redesign, and the old coins were withdrawn gradually over time. Japan did that with some of their currencies, and they gave a long-term gradually. They gave the announcement, for example, some currencies that will be introduced in 2024 were announced in 2019. That is in Japan. For example, we have different approaches, and sometimes this kind of lack of a long-term, and sometimes this notification contributes to the anxiety and the relative chaos that can cause, especially when you have a short window to withdraw all old currencies in circulation. When I was very small to withdraw, I remember it was quite chaotic for people in the village. I was living with my grandmother at the time, and the change then it was a change of design as well, and change of colors in particular. There are a lot of people that are not so literate, and they recognize currency based on their color. And I remember in that time the colors were based on juxtaposed. Now we have the same scenario where we are not told exactly, we are not even shown a specimen of what is going to change, So I think the way the information was passed and the manner it is changed has done is the reason for the anxiety that is in the air rather than the act itself.
Okay, do you think, because I heard you clearly when you said the noise surrounding this Naira redesign, that we ought not to have this noise. Do you think that noise is unfounded? Bearing in mind some of the things you've said, the timing, a lot of people have said we are in the transition period, the CBN doesn't need to do this at this time, and you raised a very valid issue, which is considering the rural population, that the majority of them are financially excluded. In many rural communities there are no banks, and I'm wondering how even the rural dwellers would exchange their old notes for the new notes. What do you think about this? Would exchange?
Yeah, exactly. So that is exactly my point. The chaos is exactly so the same people that you want the chaos to bring into the banking system. People, like I said, in 1984, we didn't even have this level of internet and POS operators taking deposits. But people had to travel to the nearest town that had a bank. People had to travel to I'll tell you that town in 1984, my village didn't have a bank. I'll tell you, and this is 2022. The only bank my village didn't have there has closed due to armed robbery. So they still don't have a bank. So you're still going to have the chaos where people have to travel and move cash, considering armed robbery, security implication. They still don't get what I mean. So people are ordinarily already afraid to travel without cash for fear of being kidnapped. For their armed robbery, security, for fear of now you want them to travel with a circle of I think this thing could have been done with more. The CBN owns all Naira. They could decide to say, okay, over a year, we'll just stop releasing the old version and then release more of the new. When you give that short window, it is the poor and the unbanked that pay the price. Stop releasing the old version and then release more of the new. When you give that short
window, Mr. Jones, are you still there?
It is the poor and the unbanked. Yes, I am.
Okay, now let's go to another version, which is the e-Naira, because the e-Naira is also from the Central Bank of Nigeria. It's the first digital currency in Africa. It just clocked 1 year a few days ago, October 25. If we take a look at the CBN looking at e-Naira adoption, how do you think that can go vis-a-vis, especially what we have just right now? Is that the way? What do you think will be the impact, really? Bearing in mind that central bank governor did say a few days ago that there's been about 8 billion naira in transactions for which is still little anyway compared to the amount of cash or the amount of transactions that we do out there in transactions for
I think it's not only I think the whole world is actually watching to see how successful the e-naira will be, because our e-naira is one of the first digital currency released by a central bank, so in the world, the e-naira, so I think because I don't know which came first, the Chinese or ours released by a central so the whole world wants to see how an economy the size of our thing, because we deal with digital currency came first. Now what I think is that you have the issue of trust. See how the people who use digital currency. Now what I people who ordinarily understand the internet. So the internet people penetration is high. Are people who probably hold digital currency for various reasons. Some of them they hold it because for asset depreciation, for fear of losing for fear of inflation. The devaluation of the naira relative to the dollar in the parallel market, which is the real market. You know what it is. So most people who use digital currency, which I do not think the real market, CBN has ended their trust in the sense that CBN at first started with a blanket announcement that banned digital currency. So if you ban digital currency and then you have released in a sense that there's already a distrust, because the people who use it, people who hold assets in digital currency, will be skeptical. So I think that skepticism will continue for a while. And most of the population, considering internet penetration, that is one, and then two, will be skeptical. In fact, if there is massive adoption of digital currency penetration, that is one, as you know, it has its own negative effects by the fact that if from being an intermediary in the long run, if there is such a pervasive adoption of digital currency, it will create serious issues for the banking sector. To take them, it will more or less usurp their role as well. Such a people into the distributed ledger systems. So that's my point. For the bank, I don't think that currency in the short term their role will the level of adoption is going to increase significantly. But what is interesting and what is encouraging is that currency, unlike the Chinese, the level of activity, $8 billion significantly. $8 billion in transactions is small, but unlike the Chinese, encouraging relative to other countries that have released similar digital currencies, where they say they saw a lot of people open their e-wallet, but they weren't using them. So we are encouraging similar digital. But I think there is just that optimal. There is just a level where wallet adoption there is equivalent to the entire banking sector. So the CBN was doing digital, but I think we should focus on not the e-wallet.
Anyway, because according to the central bank, the e-naira is supposed to even the naira in terms of how much you hold. So it's like 1-to-1. And you mentioned, I think China started before us, but I know they were moving it, I think, in 2020. Then this year in January, I think they started adopting it in major cities. That's for their EU1. Before that's what they call it. But let's take a look at another issue around the benchmark interest rates. We've seen the Central Bank of Nigeria raising benchmark interest rates, also in tandem with other global banks. The Fed of the US will be meeting tomorrow. They will be waiting to see how that will go. How do you think that this will really affect that Nigeria, that's Nigeria CBN and other emerging economies risk financial stability by continuously increasing interest rates? This will really affect that Nigeria, that's Nigeria CBN and other emerging economies risk financial stability by continuously increasing interest rates.
I don't hold myself out as an economist. Economics is not, I'm a very practical business advisor, and I have worked with small business owners as an advisor for all my, small and medium scale local and international small businesses, advising them and seeing how real business is when interest rates go up. Now, what's confusing for me is I like logic advising them and control in quotes. They're outside, they're not in the bank rates, they're not in quotes, they're saying they're not within my control. What's confusing? So that means logically, if we advising them, imply that if these 80% are not in the bank, your banking, then that means they're not within my control. Your interest rate adjustments, logically, do not advising them really imply that if this, so why didn't you do this first? Your banking before you, that means they're not within my control. Start taking that your interest rate, I want to make sure you expand that net to maybe a 6, maybe you reduce, you're able to bring in more people into that before you start increasing interest rate. Make sure you expand. Of course, by the time the CBN pronounces interest rates, is a benchmark, like you said. There are so many other indices tied to it. So every other person will increase their lending rates. Every other rate will go up. Of course, by the time the CBN pronounces interest rates, the impact on the economy, if 80% of the participants in that market are not active within your purview, being cooked, as you've said, based on the currency redesign. So I'm just saying, sometimes you see, we Nigerians sometimes we like to be academic. We move interest rates because maybe everybody says it's the right thing to do when you plot this graph and plot this graph. But then sometimes we look at practical issues. Everybody says 80% of the economy is not within. Why didn't we think about the currency redesign first before we start even raising interest rates the way we have raised them this year at every point in time? In any case, why didn't we do that? Hopefully, by the time we get more people into the banking, more unbanked Nigerians, maybe at the end of one of the positive things that should come out of this redesign is that hopefully by the time the CBN has increased its Nigerian level of control, one of the amount of unbanked individuals has increased, the amount of currency can actually CBN has regulate is increased. One of the insights, maybe we'll start seeing we'll have a more realistic interest rate that is not an academically imposed interest rate, but it's based on market reality. But right now, I know that inflation pressure is there, inflationary pressure drives interest rates up, but sometimes interest rates in an economy like ours that is still right now developing and has its own unique nuances. It is not every textbook solution that is going to work. The way it is, the average man thinks that you need moves to make and it's just being squeezed as a solution, whatever form. Whether there's too much money in circulation, the average man says, I don't even see the money. Why are they saying there's too much money just being squeezed circulation, whatever? In actual fact, whether he goes to there's too much money, buy anything, the prices are doubling every day, so he knows that there's inflationary pressure as well. So my point is finding that in actual fact, where the average individual too much does not feel that there is a news on his neck, knows that it's the job of an finding that where the economy, which I think we need more of.
Okay, let's still dwell a bit on this inflation and the impact, because it's like people understand. Okay, they go to the market, prices increase. If you buy bread today 500, tomorrow you go they take 550. Impact, not even 520, because everything increases now by 50 naira. And not even 520. Okay, they go to the market, prices increase. If you buy bread today 500, tomorrow 50, 600, and all of that. Savings, because everything increases now by 50. What does it mean that you say that naira increases its purchasing power and the impact increases on the economy? 500, tomorrow 50, 600, and all of that. Savings, because everything increases.
Yeah, so what does it mean? I like to be practical, like I said. So I'll use a few years ago when some of us were young and just started cut our jobs with the big accounting expenses. So I remember I wanted to take time off 2 years ago, go abroad maybe 2 years after I started working. I wanted to travel and I wanted to travel and take a loan to do an MBA, time off, and then my manager at the time to travel and just laid sleep on salami and KPMG. He was my mentor. He told me that why are they in a hurry and to go anywhere, and then I said when I get to do MBA abroad I'll take a loan. He told me look, I can stay in this country and be anything, anywhere. I remember that day he left a very big impression. I told him how I'll earn at least $100,000 a year if I get. He told me to finish an MBA from any of the Ivy League schools. I remember, and he laughed at me and said, who told you we don't earn that here? He told me that look at the suit I'm wearing. This suit is $1,000. An MBA from Ivy League schools. I remember that singular that kind of discussion I had with him, that conversation kept me in Nigeria until I became an old man, because I was always hopeful and I always thought that I could earn enough to be able to wear suits worth $1,000. But that is a mirage now. $1,000 in even as late as even as recently it could relatively weigh $1,000. People who what is the value of $1,000 now? I'm wearing. I remember also when we started this practice, at the time, one of the first policies we had was that we wanted to compete with the big accounting firms for that kind of discussion. And we said, well, we don't have a big name, we wanted 1 billion people, so we made it we had to pay our initial set of fresh associates a salary of at least $1,000 equivalent a month. Firms we can't do that. Remain business. We don't have a big name. There's no big firm that can pay its fresh associates. We made it $1,000 equivalent and remain in business. Now, when we started working 22, 25 years ago, initially, maybe within 6 months, I'm sure that a salary was close to $1,000 equivalent at the time a month. So the point is, you can see it in what you're able to buy. There's no inflation. Anybody to tell you, you're seeing more money equivalent and remain in business. For the quality of your life, what you started working, you can no longer do it. There are some of my mates or my friends who are partners in accounting firms can no longer go to London that they used to go shop around and do things from their salary numbers that they used to do. Quality of your life, what you started 15 years ago, can no longer do it. So my mates, you're seeing more money, the number, the numerical value. What can you buy? I'm very worried that if we don't get things right into this country, from their salary that they used to do. In 2009, I went to South Africa and I bought $1 million Zimbabwean dollar as a souvenir. I probably be very worried, bought it for 10 rands or something then. I still have it that they used to do somewhere in my archive. $1 trillion Zimbabwean notes. That is what inflation does. It makes your money Zimbabwean dollar as a souvenir. You can't buy anything with it. It becomes worthless. That is the time to hold hold on to your assets and not sell them. Because hopefully, if we manage to get our next campaigns right, and manage to get the environment, the political environment, hold on to your political environment, probably shape things that we don't spiral and get to the level managed for people like Zimbabwe. But very clearly, everybody can see. It's not something you read in a textbook, right? That I'm earning probably 200k now, but my life is worse than it was when I was earning 40k 5 years ago. Clearly, so that is inflation. Everybody can see. It's not something you read.
Now, since you brought me to the aspect of this electioneering, if you take a look at Aso Rock and definitely the ruling party, you see that they always say the Nigerian economy is doing well compared to some years ago. What do you see when it comes to the financial markets with what the politicians are saying? Vis-a-vis also, what do we need to do to make Nigeria recover and also make progress? Because I always say to Anisha, I don't know who the next leader will be, she's saying, because the economy has to be revived, then we will now be on the path of progress. So what's your view? Recover and also make progress.
Thank you, Nancy.
I always say
there's something that I like to ask you. When you were growing up, right, when you were young and in school, you had the word oil boom, I'm sure. Thank you, Nancy. We all had that. Nigeria had an oil boom in the 70s that a certain president was supposed to have announced when you were that he had so much money that the problem is not what to do with it. Thank you, Nancy. You know how to spend. You had that. I don't know that you had that as well. In the 70s, he organized a festival of black art. So much with the money. The problem is not. And then sometime in the 90s, there was a war on how to spend. There was an oil that. I don't know that point is wrong. In the 70s, do you think the Nigerian structure at the time was anytime there is a global spiral in the prices of crude, there was a war on how to spend. We had a huge boom in our oil reserves. I mean, in our foreign reserves. In Nigeria, we earned a lot of money. Anytime there is a global, everybody knows what is the price of gasoline. There was a war on how it went. People who don't live in Nigeria, who are in a different market, know that the price of gas probably have moved from maybe say 199 a gallon or something to some premium brands selling close to $6 a gallon. Price of gas in 1 year probably have moved. That tells you the kind of boom that there could have been. We have a situation whereby in 1 year probably what used to cost the then we sell more crude at a huge price and we keep the difference. What we are saying now is that the crude we are even selling now, when we sell them, we now import at the expensive price that has retrogressed so much that we can no longer create the kind of booms we used to have in the 70s and in the 80s. What we need to do simple: fix our refineries. 8 years fixing refineries, we fix refineries. See, people like to be political about these things, but when a country wants to do certain things, countries then are supposed to be able to channel powers to what is the most urgent and critical, especially they marshal all their resources to say, if we don't stop this thing, it is going to kill us. I thought this was one of the things this government should have recognized in 2014-15 when they had very good goodwill from everybody, including some of us, to say, we wanted change in this country. One of the first things they could have done, because subsidy was already a big issue, an avenue for corruption. What did you get? Most of the people who were indicted in subsidy proof, but when of the time a country wants to do, the refineries which we thought would become exceedingly urgent for them to fix, so that we don't spend foreign exchange, some of us, to say, we wanted change in this country, one of the exorbitant prices, and then giving, subsidy. You get what I mean? Subsidy, the first thing that you cannot vouch, you cannot verify to be, you don't know where it will become exceedingly urgent for them to fix, so that we don't, and then spend foreign exchange. We have the unfortunate situation of the Russian exchange in this country. One of the taking prices and then contributing immensely to the price of crude. You get what I mean? Subsidy price of petrol going and then skyrocketing, and we are still importing with whatever we are selling. Changing this country. We are not keeping the difference. We are selling more to the price. The volume is also going down due to security. So tell me, which magic how skyrocket? The politicians will always speak their speak. The politician is a marketer. He has to market, no matter how bad going down due to security. So we tell you. Which he's criminally minded merchant of his speech. That is how you describe a politician. The average market, they may be good ones, I don't know, I'm still looking for security. But the point is that they give you hope and they will tell you what they get hope for, and when they will come back and still tell you, that they are the best things that have happened. You must always be practical and look at the facts. That's why I asked this question, if the economy was as good as this is the kind of period where we normally have oil boom. Can you explain to me in one word why these things that we don't have an oil boom? And look at during this period when gas prices went up so high.
Okay.
That will answer your question.
Mr. Giles, I think there's not much we can really take now because time is fast spent. At least thank you for answering some of those questions. Okay. And we can do this some other time to take a look at perhaps we'll still be looking at the economy, and how it is impacts time on our Nigerians, even as elections are just we are gradually approaching at the elections in February, and let's see how the economy will first. But I want to say thank you for joining me this morning. Hope to talk to you soon. Elections are just
Thank you so much, Nancy.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. You too. And let's speaking with Ibrahim also, who is the lead partner at Stranza RSM International. That's going to take on today's edition of the program. Please join us again tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on this channel. I'll be coming to you with another topic of interest that you need to pay attention to, and another guest. So I'll see you all again tomorrow. I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need to I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need to I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need to I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need I'll be the best you can be and be that change that you want to see. I am Nancy, and I should come back with another topic of interest that you need